Hey guys, welcome back to Cal and Sal's Blazing 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're back here at Sal's Cabana, and my goodness, it's great to be here. So we apologize if there's any ambient noises, the crashing of the waves on the shores here. We cannot thank Sal enough for having us out. What is going on, guys?
It's just so great to have you and Jay out. Flew you guys out yesterday, and apologize again, as I said to the audience. We have a little bit of background. I put the boys on I have a surfside cabana that I put the boys in. I had another guest just leave on Thursday, so I was able to put the boys up on one of my beachside cabanas. And it's a little loud. We got some pretty good sets rolling in. You boys will have some good rides in the morning.
Oh, we can't wait. We already got the boards packed up and ready to go in the morning. We're going to hit the break of dawn, and we'll be back for game day to cheer our boys on as we make these big-time 5 picks. And we actually got Jay in the house, too, so it's all three of us.
It's just so great that
we got the whole team here over at Game of Stones. That's why you guys subscribe. That's why you guys support us. It's all possible because of you guys. Sal noticed us in the first place because of our subscriber growth, and we can't thank you enough for all the support we've had the past few weeks.
Oh, it's just my pleasure to be a sponsor and just to be part of this podcast and bring all the great information and insight that we bring every week to our fans out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, you got anything for us before we get started?
I'm just so excited for these lines we're looking at this week. I'm seeing a lot of easy bets, easy money. I think we're going to have a big one this week.
Yeah, we keep this up. We might be rolling like Sal here in this cabana pretty soon. So,
well,
we're going to.
It wasn't all just luck, boys.
We went 3-3 last week, but I think we can do even better this week. We're gonna get started right here. So tune in. Here we go. Bet number 1. We're taking New England minus 2.5 over New Orleans. Pretty easy bet here for me. With the exception of the first week, New England has played really good offensive football. Really controlled the game last week. Belichick got a little conservative week 1 against Miami, but I think this week against New Orleans, Jameis Winston really kind of showed himself last week to what he really is through 2 picks, I think. May have been 3. And buried that team. So if you ask Jameis to do anything more than throw 10 to 15 throws a game, you're going to be in a world of hurt. They're really in a pickle here at the starting quarterback position until they can maybe get Taysom Hill involved. I think this is a pretty easy pick for New England. Belichick tears apart rookie QBs. More importantly, he tears apart terrible QBs. So I think Jameis Winston's arguably the bottom 1 or 2 now that Cam Newton's out of the league, quarterbacks in the league, and I think that New England defense is going to be eaten. And I love Mac Jones, as we've said before. You got anything there, Sal?
Oh, I just think I think we're right on. We saw a very strong Winston performance against my Packers, but he tailed off dramatically last week. Came back to his what we believe is his true form.
And keep in mind this strong performance where he threw 5 touchdowns. He only threw like 15 passes that game. The defense already had him in a perfect position every time on the 10-yard line.
That's right.
So he wasn't asked to do anything,
Let's move on to the game 2.
Well, Jay, you got anything on that real quick before we move on?
I'm totally with you guys. Only other thing is Kamara, I think, was held to 5 yards last week. So even with that, if him and Jameis are not clicking, I clearly see this as New England.
So you see it's an offensive line issue also.
I think it's because defense knows
really
Jameis is not throwing, so Kamara's kind of for a really
Jameis just puts you in just.
I thought
right
that offensive line looked pretty strong against the Packer defense.
They were, but I think the defense had set us up set the offense up on the 10-yard line every drive. So that's not going to happen every week. And Aaron was playing
right.
He didn't have any interest in playing that game. So I think I'm pretty confident in that minus 2.5 New England there. But moving on to pick 2. We're actually going to, I think this is kind of a riskier pick than probably the New England one, but we're going Baltimore minus 7.5. It's a big spread. I don't usually like picking big favorites, but I think Lamar's going to have a bounce back week after last week. He threw 2 picks, fumbled, and he just really, he threw a pick 6. It was really awful in that Chiefs game, and yet, despite his awful performance, they were able to persevere and beat a Chiefs team who's decent. They're a pretty solid team. Granted, Mahomes was almost as bad as Lamar last week. It was really a battle between 2 terrible quarterback performances. But I think, with the showing we saw to that defense and offensive line, you don't have to be good at the quarterback position. You just need a game manager who can get in there, move the chains, make sure you get throw those little outlet passes, get the running game involved. And with this defense, you just, a Detroit team is, Jared Goff didn't look much better than Lamar last week. He threw a lot of bad throws himself, had slow feet in the pocket. So I think that Baltimore defense is going to cause a lot of problems, and I love that offensive line. So if Lamar can just manage that game and keep those chains moving, I think they have a real good shot at covering here. So I like that pick.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see. I saw a little bit of Lamar last week, and I thought, I thought it was a valiant attempt. He performed well, and of course Detroit always seems to struggle against the Packers. So
I mean, Packers covered like a bigger line last week by I think
So
13.
I think if the Packers, I'm still jury's out with me on the Packers. So this is where I felt like the Ravens could cover.
Baltimore's a much better team than Green Bay,
that's
and
my
they
impression.
covered a 13 spread last week.
That's my impression.
So, I agree.
It's a little risky. I mean, I feel like Packers kind of pulled out in the fourth quarter. It was a tight game.
It was a tight game.
7.5 is kind of a big line for me, so that's going to be a stay away for me. I do think Baltimore is going to win. 7.5 is a lot of points for me, though.
Yeah, I understand that it's a big line. So if you don't like big lines, go ahead and stay away from that one. But moving on to we're going Pittsburgh over Cincinnati at minus 2.5. We got this. It's pretty hard to find this line. A lot of it's at 3, but we got it in at 2.5. So reasons here: Pittsburgh's defense has been great. More importantly, Cincinnati's offensive line has been horrendous. Burrow was sacked again 5 times last week, and you just can't win games playing offensive football like that. Burrow's beaten up. He's got a heart of a lion. He's a tough dude, but you're going to make mistakes when you got that kind of pressure, and that Pittsburgh opportunistic defense is going to be eating them. I like that 2.5 points. Pittsburgh beat Buffalo earlier this year. Big Ben hasn't looked totally outstanding. His arm's a little weaker now that he's older, but they got a lot of weapons on offense. Chase Claypool can go up and make plays even on 50-50 balls. I just think that Cincinnati defense isn't going to be enough to stop the Steelers offense, and you compound that with Pittsburgh's really stout defense. I like 2.5 there. I think that's too small a line for me to be scared to take this.
Yeah, it's a small line, and I agree everything you said on this one, Cal. So I don't know, Jay, you have any thoughts?
I'm a Mike Tomlin guy. I don't think he's going back-to-back L's. I think Cal's perfectly right on this one. Plus, for only a field goal, I think that's an easy pick.
Yeah, I agree. So now you're closer to a pick'em here. We got Tampa Bay and Rams. We're picking the Rams at plus 1.5. Now this might seem like tinfoil cap here, but here's how. Brady's incredible. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I haven't been impressed at all with Tampa Bay's defense so far this year. Kind of reminiscent to their playoff run last year, with the exception of playing boxing 2 versus Mahomes, which he's kind of been solved in the playoffs. But they were not impressive in the playoffs largely. Taylor Heineke almost beat them. This Tampa Bay defense, I just think, has a lot of holes in it. I think Stafford could pick them apart. He's looked great in that Rams offense. Cooper Kupp seems to be unstoppable. No corner can stay with him. He's just too athletic. And then you just got a lot of weapons on that offense. Love the offensive line. And most importantly, this is the secret of this game. We have a feeling Tom Brady's going to somewhat intentionally throw this game as part of the grander scheme. He's always got a bigger plan in mind. He needs to win Super Bowls. He needs to get that team fired up, get the doubters hating on them. And when he believes no one believes in us, they can come back and make a hot run through the playoffs. But they can't go 17-0 because no team's ever gone undefeated. So he knows they got to get some early season losses, establish some rivals. I think Tom Brady, in his mastermind of a plan, is going to intentionally throw this game and knows it's winnable, but he needs to put the fire in his boys' bellies and get them playing harder. So I think Tom Brady's going to throw this game and give it to the Rams. Different story in the playoffs, but we're taking Rams plus 1.5 here. Your thoughts there, Sal?
Well, Cal, you've got your superstition and you've got your conspiracies going there, but and that's fair. That's fair. I think Brady would probably, I think you're going to fire Brady up. We might want to hope that Tom doesn't listen to this podcast.
We're getting pretty big. He might be hearing us.
Yeah,
pretty soon.
it's very possible, but. Yeah, I like the Rams team. I like the quarterback. I like the offensive line, as you said, and the defense is also playing quite well. So I think that our choice of picking the Rams on this in this a very close game will play out well for us.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I kind of got to put my tinfoil hat on too. I'm totally on board with this. I think if there's one team you're going to lose to, it'll probably be someone as motivated as Matt Stafford to get his first legitimate win on his big-name team. And I think Brady knows early in the season is the time to kind of try out new things. They're going to Bruce Arians' the type of guy to hang on to a few plays for the playoffs. They're not going to show everything they got. They're going to try and appear a little bit weaker than we're going to see coming up later in the season.
Yeah, I think they want to come in as the underdogs so they can get teams sleep into the playoffs. So we're taking the Rams there. Really like that. Might be the pick of the
Brady
week
is
for us.
definitely known for not showing his big plays until the playoffs.
He's a
He
playoff
hides
performer,
them.
big time. Does just enough to get there, and then he cruises through.
Oh, yeah.
So the next and the final pick, we're going to be taking San Francisco -3 versus Green Bay. Honestly, I can't believe this line is this low. I'm not sure what they're seeing out of Green Bay. We weren't even impressive against Detroit last week. We barely pulled that out in the fourth quarter. It was anyone's game until then. We got blown out by 35 versus the Saints, who just lost to Carolina with Darnold, who admittedly has looked decent this year. But -3 for that San Francisco defense that just completely bottled up Jalen Hurts, who's supposedly, the starting caliber quarterback. We'll see. TBD, jury's still out on that. But I love that defense from San Francisco. They can hold the team to 11 points. I think Green Bay's offensive line is probably the weakness of this team right now with Bakhtiari out and a couple departures they had in the offseason. I think, we're definitely going to struggle against Nick Bosa and that defensive front right there. And Jimmy G's looks solid. He's been playing with a lot of fire in his belly, and he knows Trey Lance is looking over his shoulder, trying to take his job. So he's playing like his job depends on it, and he's played pretty well this season. I think they're definitely going to cover that -3.
Well, I'm as you boys know, I've been a lifelong Packer fan, and I agree with everything Cal is saying here. I have not seen Green Bay perform in a capacity where they would only be giving up 3 points. I mean, that the Niners would only be giving up 3 points to this Packer team. I'm just not seeing it. So I think this to me would be the bet of the week.
Yeah, this is by far the best pick of the week, I think.
Yeah, this is like
knock on wood, of course.
Take this to the bank.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I think it's the bet of the week. I've personally been a little bit pleased after last week just seeing Myers' improvement at center. And I think the Green Bay's line's coming together a little bit more. They're getting eaten alive against the Saints. So I think that's coming together.
Line play starting to pick up a little.
Line play starting to pick up a little. I think you saw Rodgers getting a little more time in the pocket. Admittedly, Detroit doesn't have as good of a line defense to get in there, but I'm still seeing 3 points is way too low. I just don't see it out of Rodgers to kind of keep up with Bosa. I think Bosa's going to eat him alive.
I would love to be wrong on this one. Don't get me wrong. I'm still a Packer fan.
But the thing is, we know this Packer team. That's the thing. We're never wrong on these Packer bets, unfortunately.
No, we're usually not.
We know our Packers, and -3, no chance. I think we're going to get blown out by 20. So pretty comfortable with that one. But yeah, thanks you guys for tuning in, and thanks again, Sal, for having us out.
Well, boys,
we're actually going to be next
guys,
week. Tune in Thursday because we're going to be releasing a Thursday pod as well for the next Plays in 5. But we're still going to be here at the cabana. And go ahead, Sal.
Well, you boys, I'm just so tickled we were able to get you out here to Maui. It's just wonderful having you here. Hope that you sleep well tonight with the waves rolling in, and you guys get some early sets in, because you realize the NFL comes on at 7 a.m. here in.
We'll be up bright and early, hitting the paddle and
early morning.
Yeah, here in Lahaina we have a 7 a.m. kickoff.
Yeah, well, we'll be back in time, but we should be out on the waves hopefully at 4 or 5 a.m. and catch a few sets.
All right. Hey, we had a couple of barracuda sightings yesterday, so just be careful.
We'll watch our backs. Jai, you got anything to say to the fans?
Keep sticking in with us. If you like the picks, ring that bell. Don't forget to subscribe. We love you guys. And let's just keep it rolling.
Absolutely. 5-0, baby.
God bless everyone.